Imagine you are standing in a long line at the store. The person ahead of you is arguing with the cashier, slowing everyone down. Your patience fades. Your heart beats faster. Frustration creeps in. Why does such a small moment have so much power over you? Now, think about someone cutting you off in traffic. Does your mind instantly fill with anger? Or when someone criticizes you, do their words replay endlessly, making you feel restless and upset? Why do these everyday situations bother you so much? What if you could stay calm, no matter what happens? What if someone's rude words didn't affect you at all? Imagine having a mind so steady that nothing could disturb your peace. It may sound impossible, but through the wisdom of Buddhism, you can learn how to break free from anger and live with unshakable calm. Welcome to Wisdom Woven, the channel that guides you toward a stronger, calmer mind. Before we begin, there's something important. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% subscribe. If you're gaining value, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments. We read every one of them. Now, let's explore why anger controls you and how you can break free. Many people believe anger is caused by others, rude behavior, unfair situations, or harsh words. But in reality, anger begins within you. When you feel insulted or ignored, it's not the situation itself that creates anger. It's your reaction to it. Buddhism teaches that anger arises when you expect the world to be a certain way, but reality doesn't match those expectations. You expect people to treat you kindly, traffic to flow smoothly, and life to be fair. When these expectations break, anger rushes in. But here's the truth. You cannot control other people or life's events. The only thing you can control is your response. The moment you realize this, you begin to take back your power. Anger no longer controls you. You control it. In the next part, we'll explore the root of anger and how Buddhist wisdom reveals the key to freeing yourself from its grip. Understanding the root of anger through Buddhist wisdom. Sit with me for a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Let us go deep into the heart of anger. You have felt it before, hot, sharp, rising like a flame. But do you know where it comes from? Do you know why it grips you so tightly? Let us journey together and uncover the truth. Anger is a fire. But tell me, does fire burn on its own? No. It needs wood, fuel, air to survive. Without these, it fades into nothing. Your anger is the same. It does not appear from nowhere. It has a root. And if you can see this root clearly, you can remove it, just as you would take away the wood from a burning fire. Many believe anger comes from outside. Other people, harsh words, unfair treatment. But this is not so. If anger truly came from outside, then everyone who faces the same situation would react the same way. But they do not. One person gets furious, another remains calm. Why? Because the seed of anger is not in the world, it is in the mind. Think of a time when you became angry. Perhaps someone insulted you. Their words felt like arrows piercing your heart. But were the words themselves painful? No. If you did not understand their language, they would mean nothing to you. It is not the words that hurt. It is the meaning you attach to them. Your mind turns them into wounds. Your mind sets the fire. The Buddha taught that anger arises when something blocks your desire. You want respect, but someone disrespects you. You want things to go smoothly, but obstacles appear. You want life to be fair, but it is not. And so anger rises. But look closely. Who created these desires? Who decided that things must be a certain way? It is the mind. And when the mind clings to these desires, anger is born. Now, let me ask you, if you pour fuel on a fire, will it grow or shrink? Of course, it will grow. And every time you feed your anger, by thinking about what was said, replaying the insult, planning revenge, you add more fuel. The fire burns stronger, hotter. But if you stop feeding it, what happens? It fades, little by little, until nothing remains. Imagine holding a hot coal in your hand, intending to throw it at someone. Who gets burned first? You do. Anger is like this. You carry it, you suffer from it, even before you release it. But if you choose to drop the coal, you free yourself from the pain. This is the wisdom of letting go. But letting go does not mean suppressing anger. If you push anger down, hide it, pretend it does not exist, it does not disappear. It waits, growing stronger, until one day it erupts like a volcano. True freedom is not in hiding anger. It is in understanding it, seeing it for what it is. recognizing that it is not a part of you, but something that comes and goes. A wise person does not let anger control them. They watch it, like a silent observer. When anger arises, they do not react immediately. They breathe. They step back. They ask, why is this anger here? What desire of mine has been blocked? And in that moment of awareness, the anger begins to lose its power. The Buddha once said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. But why do we hold on to it? Because we believe it gives us power. We believe anger makes us strong. But is this true? Look at those who are always angry. Are they strong? Or are they restless, suffering, controlled by their emotions? Real strength is in peace. A mind that cannot be shaken, no matter what happens. A heart that does not burn, no matter what words are spoken. This is true power. This is the way of wisdom. So, the next time anger comes, do not fight it. Do not feed it. Just watch it, like a cloud passing in the sky. Let it rise. Let it fall. And in the end, you will see, it was never truly yours. It was just a visitor, passing through. And you are the vast, open sky. In the next part, we will go deeper into how attachment fuels anger and disturbs your peace. But for now, be still. Breathe. Feel the space between your thoughts. That is where freedom begins. How attachment fuels anger and disturbs inner peace. Ah, you are here. Good. Let us speak of something that troubles many hearts. Attachment. It may seem harmless at first. A desire, a hope, an expectation. But when the world does not move as you wish, anger rises like fire within. Why is this so? Listen closely. When you hold tightly to what you want, praise, respect, control, your heart becomes fragile. A single word can shatter your peace. A small disappointment becomes a great storm. Why? Because attachment ties your happiness to things outside yourself. When those things slip away, and they always do, anger takes their place. Think of a child holding a toy. If someone takes it away, the child cries. But why? The toy itself is nothing more than wood or plastic. The pain comes from attachment, the belief that happiness depends on that object. Adults are no different. Only the toys have changed. You want people to treat you kindly. You want life to go your way. And when it does not, anger appears. You may say, they made me angry. But no one can place anger inside you. It grows from the soil of attachment. Imagine you are standing in the rain. If you cling to the desire for sunshine, every drop feels like an insult. But if you accept the rain as it is, your heart remains calm. The rain is the same, only your attachment has changed. This is the secret to freedom. Now, some may ask, without attachment, will I stop caring? Will I become cold and distant? No, letting go of attachment does not mean closing your heart. It means opening it without fear. You can still love, still hope, still strive. But you no longer demand that the world must bend to your will. This is true strength. When you release attachment, anger loses its fuel. The rude words of others pass through you like wind through an open window. Disappointment may knock at your door, but it cannot stay. You become as steady as a mountain, unmoved by the shifting clouds. But do not mistake this for numbness. This calm is not the absence of feeling. It is the presence of wisdom. You see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. And in this clarity, there is great peace. Consider this. When someone insults you, why do you feel anger? Their words are only sounds. Yet attachment gives them power, the attachment to your pride, to your image, to being respected. Without this attachment, their words pass by like leaves on a river. You hear them, but they do not touch your heart. Even when life is unfair, you remain calm. Why? Because you no longer cling to the idea that life must be fair. You understand that the world moves according to its nature, not your desires. This understanding is freedom. But remember, letting go is not a one-time act. It is a practice. Each day, notice where attachment arises. Notice how it fuels your anger. Then, gently loosen your grip. With time, you will find that fewer things can disturb your peace. Do not fear this letting go. It is not a loss, it is a gift. When you release attachment, you gain a heart that cannot be shaken. The world may change, people may disappoint you, but your peace remains. This is the true power of the mind. And so, as you walk through life, remember, anger is not caused by the world outside. It is born from the attachments within. Free yourself from these chains, and you will discover a calm that no one can take away. In the next part, we will explore how mindfulness can dissolve anger before it takes root. But for now, reflect on what we have shared. Watch your thoughts. Notice where attachment arises. And know that with each step, you are moving closer to a life free from anger. The power of mindfulness in dissolving anger. Anger. It rises so quickly, like a flame touching dry grass. One moment, all is calm. The next, your chest tightens. Your breath shortens. Heat rushes to your face. Words escape before you can catch them. Then, regret lingers like smoke after the fire. But tell me, must it be this way? Listen closely. Mindfulness is the key. Not a distant concept or a complex practice. No, it is as simple as noticing the breath that enters your body and the breath that leaves. It is as simple as seeing your thoughts appear and watching them pass. When anger comes, do not push it away. Do not fight it. Fighting anger is like wrestling the wind. You only tire yourself. Instead, pause. Feel the heat rising inside you. Notice the tightening of your chest. Observe the racing of your thoughts. Simply notice. This is mindfulness. And this is where freedom begins. In that moment of noticing, something shifts. The anger no longer controls you. You have stepped back, just a little, enough to see the anger for what it is, a passing storm, not the sky itself. The sky is your true nature, vast, clear, untouched. But how do you practice this in daily life? This is the secret. Mindfulness is not only for moments of anger. It is a way of living. Each morning, as you wake, notice the warmth of your blanket, the sound of your breath. When you walk, feel the ground beneath your feet. When you eat, taste each bite fully. In these simple moments, you train your mind to be present. And then, when anger knocks, because it will, you are ready. Imagine someone speaks harshly to you. Instead of reacting, you pause. You feel the heat rising, but you do not act. You notice the words that want to escape, but you do not speak them. You take one breath, then another. In this pause, anger loses its grip. It cannot survive the light of your awareness. But remember this, mindfulness is not suppression. You do not pretend the anger is not there. No, you see it clearly. You say, anger has arrived. You feel it in your body. You watch the thoughts it brings. And as you watch, something remarkable happens. The anger begins to soften. It no longer controls your words. It no longer drives your actions. Over time, you begin to see the roots of your anger. Perhaps it comes from unmet expectations. Perhaps from old wounds. Perhaps from fear. Mindfulness reveals these roots, not to judge them, but to understand. And with understanding comes freedom. You see, anger is not the enemy. It is a teacher. It shows you where you hold on too tightly, where you resist what is. Each time anger arises, it offers you a choice, to react or to respond with wisdom. And each time you choose mindfulness, you strengthen this wisdom. Now, some may ask, but what if someone truly wrongs me? Should I not be angry? Here is where mindfulness shows its true power. It does not make you passive. No, it gives you clarity. You see the situation as it is, not through the fog of anger. You can still speak firmly. You can still set boundaries. But you do so from a place of calm strength, not from blind reaction. Imagine a pond. When the water is still, you can see straight to the bottom. But when the water is stirred by anger, everything becomes cloudy. Mindfulness stills the water. And in that stillness, you see clearly what needs to be done, without the confusion of anger. But do not expect perfection. You will still feel anger from time to time. Even the wise feel its heat. The difference is, they do not feed the fire. They do not let it burn out of control. Instead, they notice the first spark, and through mindfulness, they let it fade. So, I ask you now, the next time anger arises, what will you do? Will you react without thinking, adding fuel to the fire? Or will you pause, breathe, and simply notice? The choice is yours. And with each choice, you take one step closer to a life where anger no longer rules you. This is the power of mindfulness. Simple, quiet, yet stronger than any flame. In the next part, we will explore how emotional detachment allows you to respond to life with both calm and compassion. But for now, pause. Take a breath. And know that with each breath, you are dissolving anger, one moment at a time. Listen closely, my friend. There is a way to walk through this world without anger weighing you down, without being disturbed by the words or actions of others. But do not mistake this path for coldness. True emotional detachment does not mean shutting your heart. No, it means opening it so wide that nothing can break it. Imagine holding a glass of water. If your hand grips it too tightly, the glass may slip and shatter. But if you hold it lightly, with care, but without clinging, it rests safely in your hand. This is the art of emotional detachment. To hold the world gently, to care without grasping, to love without fear. Many people think detachment means not feeling anything, but that is not true. Detachment is not the absence of feeling. It is freedom from being controlled by those feelings. You still feel sadness when a friend suffers. You still feel joy when a child laughs. But these emotions pass through you like the wind through the trees. They touch you, but they do not uproot you. Why is this so hard for most people? Because they tie their happiness to what others do. If someone praises them, they feel good. If someone insults them, they feel bad. But can you see the problem? Their peace depends on things outside their control. This is why they suffer. Now, think of a deep lake. When the wind blows, the surface ripples. But beneath the surface, the water is still. This is the mind of one who has mastered detachment. On the surface, emotions come and go. But deep within, there is peace. Always. But how do I reach this state, you ask? First, understand this. Nothing outside of you can disturb your peace unless you allow it. The harsh words of another person are like an arrow shot through the air. If you do not catch the arrow, it cannot hurt you. The choice is yours, always. Let me share a story. There was once a monk who traveled from village to village, teaching peace. One day, a man approached him, shouting insults. The monk listened calmly. When the man paused to catch his breath, the monk said, "If someone offers you a gift, and you do not accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The man frowned. "It belongs to the one who offered it." The monk smiled and said, "Then I do not accept your anger. You may keep it for yourself." The man was stunned into silence. This is the power of emotional detachment. When you stop accepting the anger of others, their words no longer control you. But this is not about building walls around your heart. No, it is about understanding that their anger is their suffering. It does not have to become yours. Compassion is the key. When someone lashes out in anger, they are like a person crying out in pain. If you see their suffering, your heart softens. You respond with kindness, not because you must, but because you understand. This is true strength, to remain kind even when others are unkind. But be careful. Some people fear that if they become too kind, others will take advantage of them. This is why detachment is important. It allows you to help others without losing yourself. If someone is drowning, you can throw them a rope. But if you jump into the water with them, you may drown as well. Help, but do not sink. Love, but do not cling. You may ask, what about my own anger? How do I detach from that? This is the heart of the practice. Understand that anger arises when you want things to be different from what they are. When someone treats you unfairly, your mind says, "This should not happen." But the world does not follow your wishes. It moves as it moves. The sun rises and sets, whether you approve or not. So, instead of fighting what is, learn to accept it. This does not mean allowing injustice to continue. No, it means acting with wisdom, not with anger. When your mind is calm, your actions are clear. When your heart is free, your choices are wise. Imagine a tree in a storm. The wind howls, the branches bend, but the roots hold firm. This is how you must be. Let the world move as it will, but remain steady within yourself. And remember this, detachment is a practice, not a destination. There will be days when anger arises. Do not judge yourself. Simply notice the feeling, then let it go. Each time you do this, you grow stronger. Each time you choose peace over anger, you move closer to freedom. Now, take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs. This moment, right now, is all you need. The past is gone. The future has not come. In this moment, there is no anger, no fear, only peace. In the next part, we will explore how to transform negative thoughts into calm responses. But for now, remember this. Hold the world gently. Care without clinging. Love without fear. And you will walk through this life with a heart that cannot be broken. So you wish to calm the storm within. Good. Sit with me for a while. Let us talk about these thoughts that trouble your mind. Imagine a pond, still and clear. When a stone is thrown into it, ripples spread across the surface. This is what happens when negative thoughts enter your mind. They disturb your peace. But remember, just as the pond returns to stillness, so can your mind. Negative thoughts are like passing clouds. They come and go. Yet, you hold on to them, believing they are part of you. But are they? When anger rises, do you not feel it come from nowhere, only to fade away again? It is not you. It is only a visitor. A harsh word from someone, a memory of past mistakes, or fear of the future. These thoughts knock at the door of your mind. You do not have to let them stay. See them, acknowledge them, then let them go. The more you practice this, the more peace you will feel. When someone insults you, their words are like a flame. If you hold the flame, you burn your own hand. But if you choose to let it fall, the fire cannot harm you. In the same way, do not grasp at negative thoughts. Observe them as if they belong to someone else. Buddha once said, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Think about this. Each time you replay a hurtful memory, you are holding that coal. Is it not time to release it? When anger or sadness arises, do not fight it. Fighting only strengthens it. Instead, say, I see you. You have come again. Then breathe. Each breath is a wave that carries the thought away. Feel it leaving your mind, like smoke drifting into the sky. Some thoughts may return again and again, like a stubborn echo. But do not worry. With each breath, their grip will loosen. Imagine your mind as a wide, open sky. Thoughts are only birds passing through. Some may stay longer, but none can stay forever. You may wonder, how can I stop these thoughts when they come so quickly? The answer is simple. Do not chase them. Imagine standing beside a river. Thoughts are like leaves floating downstream. You do not need to jump in and catch them. Just watch as they drift past. Each time a negative thought appears, return to your breath. This breath is your anchor. Inhale, feeling the air fill your chest. Exhale, releasing all that no longer serves you. The more you focus on your breath, the weaker those thoughts become. Do not judge yourself for having these thoughts. Even the calmest mind sometimes feels anger or fear. The key is not to let them take root. Imagine your mind as a garden. If you water the weeds of negativity, they will grow strong. But if you leave them without attention, they will wither and disappear. When someone's words hurt you, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, why does this pain me? Often, it is not their words, but your own thoughts about those words that cause suffering. If you change your thoughts, their words lose all power. Think of a mirror. It reflects whatever stands before it, but it is not changed by what it reflects. Be like the mirror. Let insults and criticism pass through you, leaving no mark. The more you practice this, the more unshakable you become. There will be days when negative thoughts seem too strong to resist. On those days, remember, each thought is like a wave. No matter how high it rises, it will always fall. Stand firm. Let the wave pass. Soon, the sea within you will be calm again. The more you observe your thoughts without reacting, the more power you gain. Imagine standing on a mountaintop, looking down at the clouds below. From that height, even the darkest clouds seem small. This is the power of mindfulness. It lifts you above your thoughts, giving you the freedom to choose peace. Now, as you sit here, breathing softly, feel the space within your mind. Notice how thoughts come and go, like birds flying across the sky. You are not the birds. You are the sky, vast, open, and untroubled. This is your true nature. And in this space, no negative thought can disturb your peace. Ah, you have come to listen. Good. Sit for a moment. Let your shoulders soften. Let the air touch your skin. Do you feel it? Life is here now. Yet, so often, your mind is somewhere else, trapped in thoughts of what others have done, what they might say, or how they make you feel. This is the weight you carry. But tell me, why hold on to what hurts you? When someone speaks harshly to you, their words enter your ears. But where does the pain begin? Not in the air, not in their voice, but within your mind. It is not their words that disturb your peace. It is your clinging to the thought, they should not have said that. This is where suffering begins. Yet, no one can place this suffering inside you. You place it there yourself. Imagine holding a burning coal in your hand, hoping it will hurt someone else. But who gets burned? Not them, only you. Anger, resentment, and fear are like this. They burn you from within. Yet, you hold them tightly, believing they give you strength. But strength does not come from clenching your fist. True strength comes when you open your hand and let go. But how can I let go, you ask? Their words still echo in my mind. Ah, yes. The mind is a restless river. Thoughts drift like leaves upon the water. Some leaves are light and pass quickly. Others are heavy, sinking deep. But you are not the leaves. You are not the water. You are the space that holds it all. When you see this, their words lose their power. They pass by, like wind through an open window, leaving no trace behind. There is a story of a man who insulted the Buddha. He shouted, cursed, and mocked him. Yet, the Buddha sat quietly, unmoved. When the man finished, the Buddha asked, if someone offers you a gift, but you refuse to accept it, to whom does the gift belong? The man replied, to the one who offered it. The Buddha smiled and said, then I do not accept your anger, and it remains yours. Think of this whenever someone's words disturb you. Their anger is a gift you do not have to accept. Let it pass. Why carry what was never yours? Yet, many hold tightly to these gifts of pain. They replay insults in their minds, carrying them for days, years, even lifetimes. But holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Who suffers in the end? Only you. Some say, if I let go, they will think I am weak. No, letting go is not weakness. It is the greatest power. When you no longer react to others' anger, you become untouchable. Imagine standing in the rain, yet remaining dry. This is the power of letting go. Their words fall around you, but none can soak into your heart. But be careful. Letting go does not mean suppressing your feelings. If you push anger down, it will grow stronger. To let go, you must first see anger clearly. When anger arises, do not judge it. Simply notice, ah, here is anger. Feel the heat in your chest, the tightness in your jaw. Breathe. With each breath, the fire cools. Slowly, the anger fades, not because you forced it away, but because you allowed it to pass. Now, some may wonder, if I do not get angry, will people walk all over me? No, letting go does not mean allowing others to harm you. It means responding with wisdom, not reacting with anger. Imagine someone throws a stone at you. Anger is picking up the stone and throwing it back. Wisdom is stepping aside so the stone cannot hit you. Which is stronger, to throw stones or to stand untouchable? There is a secret here. When you let go of anger, you free not only yourself, but also those around you. Your calmness is a mirror. When others see their anger reflected in your peace, they begin to question their own. In this way, your letting go becomes a gift, not just for yourself, but for the world. But do not be mistaken, letting go is not a one-time event. It is a practice. Each day, life will test you. Someone will cut you off in traffic. Someone will speak harshly. Thoughts of the past will rise. Each time, you have a choice. Hold on or let go. With each moment of letting go, your heart grows lighter. Slowly, the world loses its power to disturb you. And yet, some hold on to anger as if it gives them identity. I have a right to be angry, they say. But anger is not who you are. Beneath the anger is something deeper. Peace, kindness, strength. When you let go, you do not lose yourself. You return to your true self, the self that is free, calm, and unshakable. Let me leave you with this thought. No one has the power to control your mind unless you give it to them. Each time you hold on to anger, you hand them that power. But each time you let go, you take it back. This is true freedom. This is the path of wisdom. Now sit quietly. Breathe in. Feel the air into your lungs. Breathe out. Feel your body soften. In this moment, nothing can disturb you. In this moment, you are free. When you leave here, life will test you again. Someone will say something unkind. Anger may rise. But remember the burning coal. Remember the gift that is not yours. Remember the Buddha, unmoved by insults. And when anger knocks at your door, smile. Let it pass. You are no longer its prisoner. This is the path of letting go. This is the path of true freedom. Sit with me for a while. Let us talk about calmness. You see, the mind is like a pond. When the wind blows, the water ripples, and the reflection becomes unclear. This is what happens when you let the world disturb you. A word, a look, an action from someone else, and suddenly, your mind is restless. But what if you could still the water? What if no storm, no wind, no disturbance could shake you? This is possible. This is the power of meditation. Meditation is not about escaping the world. No, it is about seeing clearly. It is about training the mind to stay steady, no matter what happens around you. When someone speaks harshly, you do not react. When things do not go your way, you do not feel shaken. Instead, you remain like the mountain, unmoved, strong, and at peace. Right now, your mind may be full of noise, thoughts rushing, emotions rising, distractions pulling you in many directions. You may even believe that this is normal. But no, this is not your true nature. Beneath all the noise, there is a space of deep peace. You do not need to create it, it is already there. You only need to uncover it. Close your eyes for a moment. Listen, do you hear that? The breath, soft, steady. It does not demand attention, yet it is always there. This is the anchor of meditation. When the mind wanders, you return to the breath. Slowly, gently, over and over again. And with time, the storm inside you quiets. Many people think meditation is difficult, but the truth is, it is the simplest thing in the world. Sit, breathe, be aware. That is all. The challenge is not in the practice, it is in patience. The restless mind will not settle instantly, but if you continue, if you stay with it, a great transformation happens. Imagine walking into a room filled with dust. If you sit still, the dust begins to settle. This is what happens in your mind. The more you practice, the more your thoughts settle. Clarity arises. Peace becomes natural. And suddenly, the things that once angered you, the things that once disturbed you, they lose their power. You may ask, but what if someone is rude to me? Should I just sit and do nothing? Ah, no. Meditation does not make you weak. It makes you wise. When you are calm, you see clearly. You do not react with anger, but you respond with understanding. You speak not from frustration, but from clarity. This is true strength. The greatest mistake people make is thinking that peace is something they must find in the outside world. No, peace is within you. It has always been there. The only reason you do not feel it is because your mind is too busy chasing thoughts, emotions, and distractions. But the moment you stop running, the moment you sit still, peace rises naturally. Some will say, I have no time for meditation. Ah, but they have time to be angry, time to be stressed, time to be worried. If they replaced even a small part of that with meditation, their whole life would change. They would no longer be controlled by emotions. They would move through the world with grace. Look at a tree in the wind. The branches sway, but the roots remain deep. This is how you must be. Life will always bring storms. People will always bring challenges. But if your roots are deep, you will not be shaken. And how do you deepen your roots? Through practice, through stillness, through meditation. Many seek happiness in external things. They chase success, approval, possessions. But these things do not bring lasting peace. They rise and fall, like waves on the ocean. True peace is found within. And once you have it, nothing in the world can take it from you. So sit. Just sit. Let go of expectations. Let go of worries. Follow the breath. And watch what happens. Slowly, gently, your mind will transform. And one day, without even realizing it, you will wake up and find that nothing disturbs you anymore. Not because the world has changed, but because you have. This is the power of meditation. This is the gift of inner calm. And it is already within you. All you must do is begin. Ah, so you wish to understand the art of responding, not reacting. Listen carefully. There is a great difference between the two. When you react, your mind is like a pond disturbed by a stone. Ripples of anger, fear, or frustration spread quickly. But when you respond, your mind remains still, like a clear pond reflecting the sky above. Do you see the beauty in this? Imagine someone shouts at you. Harsh words, sharp like arrows. If you react, you shout back without thinking. But what have you gained? Only more noise, more pain. Yet, if you pause, if you take one breath before speaking, the arrow passes by without touching your heart. This is the power of responding. But Master, you may ask, how can I pause when anger rises so quickly? Ah, this is the key. The pause is small, yet it holds great strength. When you notice the heat of anger rising, do not fear it. Simply see it. Acknowledge it. In that moment of awareness, you are free. You no longer follow the anger. You watch it. And as you watch, it begins to fade. This awareness is what we call mindfulness. It is not about suppressing your feelings. No, that would only create more suffering. Instead, you meet your feelings with kindness. You say to yourself, ah, here is anger, but I do not have to follow it. And just like that, the chains of anger begin to break. Now, consider this. When someone insults you, their words are like a gift. But if you refuse to accept the gift, to whom does it belong? Not to you. So why carry the burden of another's anger? This is the wisdom of non-reaction. You do not let others control your peace. But Master, what if someone hurts me again and again? Then you must respond with wisdom. To respond is not to be weak. No, true strength lies in calmness. If someone pushes you, you can say stop. If someone speaks harshly, you can reply with firm kindness. Responding does not mean allowing harm. It means choosing your words and actions with clarity, not anger. Remember this. When you react, you give your power away. But when you respond, you remain the master of your mind. Now, let me share a simple practice to help you. When you feel anger or fear, do not speak right away. Instead, take one slow breath, in and out. Feel the air enter your body, bringing calmness. This breath is your pause, your power. After this breath, ask yourself, what is the wisest response? You will see, the answer comes from a place of peace, not pain. And when someone tests your patience, smile softly within your heart. Know that their actions cannot shake your calm unless you allow it. This smile is not for them, it is for you. It is a reminder that you control your inner world. There is a story. Long ago, a monk was insulted by a passerby. The man shouted, "You are foolish. You waste your life in silence." The monk simply bowed his head and walked on. Later, his student asked, "Master, why did you not defend yourself?" The monk replied, "If a man offers me poison, must I drink it?" His words were his burden, not mine. Do you see? When you respond with calmness, you break the cycle of anger. The fire cannot burn without fuel. But when you react, you add more wood to the flames. Now, you may wonder, how can I practice this in daily life? Begin with small moments. When someone cuts you off in traffic, notice your reaction, then breathe. When a loved one says something hurtful, pause before replying. With each pause, you strengthen your mind. And do not judge yourself when you fail. There will be times when anger slips through. This is natural. Simply notice it, learn from it, and begin again. Each moment is a chance to practice. As days pass, you will notice a change. The things that once made you angry will no longer disturb your peace. People may try to provoke you, but you will smile within, untouched by their words. This is not indifference, it is freedom. You still feel compassion, still care for others, but their actions no longer control your emotions. In time, those around you will notice your calmness. They may ask, "Why do you not get angry like before?" And you will smile, knowing that you have learned the art of responding, not reacting. This is the gift of mindfulness, the power to choose peace in every moment. So, remember, when anger rises, pause. Take one breath. Watch your feelings without judgment. Then respond with wisdom, not reaction. In this way, no one can disturb your peace. You become like the mountain, strong, steady, unmoved by the winds of the world. Now, go and practice this art, moment by moment. With each breath, you step closer to a life of unshakable calm. Listen closely. Everything you know, everything you see, will change. The sky shifts. The seasons pass. Faces you love grow older. Even the thoughts in your mind come and go like waves upon the shore. Nothing stays the same. This truth may seem frightening at first, but within it lies your greatest freedom. Imagine holding a handful of sand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. Life is the same. The more you cling to how things should be, the more suffering you create. But if you learn to hold life gently, to let each moment come and go, you will discover a peace that no one can take away. Why do you get angry when things change? When people leave, when plans fail, when life takes an unexpected turn, anger rises because you believe it should have been different. But the world does not follow your desires. A flower blooms, then withers. A river flows, never stopping for anyone. This is the way of all things. To fight it is to fight the nature of life itself. Yet, many people spend their days trapped in this struggle, angry at the past, anxious about the future, clinging to moments that have already slipped away. They believe that if only things could stay the same, they would be happy. But this is an illusion. Happiness does not come from holding on. It comes from learning to let go. Think of a leaf floating down a stream. It does not resist the current. It moves with the water, not against it. When you accept that everything changes, you become like that leaf, flowing through life with ease, untouched by anger or fear. You no longer waste energy trying to control what cannot be controlled. Instead, you meet each moment as it is, with a calm and open heart. But acceptance does not mean passivity. It does not mean you must endure injustice or let others mistreat you. It simply means seeing things clearly, without anger, without resistance. When you accept that people and situations will change, you respond with wisdom instead of frustration. You act from a place of strength, not from the chaos of uncontrolled emotions. Consider this. When someone insults you, why do you feel anger? Their words are like the wind, passing, impermanent. But if you hold on to them, replaying them in your mind, the anger grows. Yet the insult is already gone, like a sound that fades into silence. You suffer not because of what they said, but because you refuse to let it go. Or think of a time when someone you cared for disappointed you. Perhaps they broke a promise or changed in ways you did not expect. The pain comes from clinging to the image of who they used to be. But people, like rivers, are always moving. To love them is to accept their change, to cherish the moments you share, without trying to hold them still. Some might ask, if everything changes, how can I find lasting peace? The answer lies not in holding on, but in embracing impermanence itself. When you understand that no moment lasts forever, you begin to appreciate each one more deeply. A sunset is beautiful because it fades. A cherry blossom is precious because it falls. Even life itself is meaningful because it is fleeting. This understanding frees you from fear. When you know that both joy and sorrow will pass, you no longer cling to one or fear the other. You face life with a steady heart, grateful for the good times, patient through the hard times, and always ready to move forward. No longer trapped by anger, no longer shaken by change. But remember, this wisdom is not found in books or words alone. It must be lived. The next time something goes wrong, pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself, this moment is passing. I do not need to hold on. Feel the anger begin to loosen its grip. Watch as it fades, like mist in the morning sun. Over time, this practice becomes natural. You no longer react with frustration when plans change or when people let you down. You see life as it truly is, flowing, unpredictable, and endlessly changing. And instead of fighting against it, you learn to move with it, like a leaf on the stream. This is the path to true freedom, not through controlling the world, but through mastering your response to it. When you embrace impermanence, you discover a peace that no one can disturb. Words cannot hurt you. Change cannot shake you. Even life's greatest losses cannot break you, because you understand that nothing was ever yours to hold. In the end, this is the heart of all Buddhist wisdom, to see life clearly, to accept its constant change, and to walk through it with grace and compassion. Anger fades, fear dissolves, and what remains is a mind as calm as still water, a heart as open as the endless sky. Now, carry this truth with you. Let it shape the way you see the world. And when the next wave of anger or frustration rises, remember, it, too, will pass. All you must do is let it go, living with compassion and wisdom to avoid anger. Listen carefully. There is a path, one that leads beyond anger, beyond frustration. It is the path of compassion and wisdom. When you walk this path, no words can wound you, no actions can disturb your peace. But how is this possible? Let me tell you. Imagine someone insults you. Their words are sharp, like stones thrown at your heart. But if your heart is soft with compassion and clear with wisdom, those stones cannot harm you. Why? Because you understand. You see their pain, their confusion. You do not take their words as your own. You simply let them fall, without anger, without resentment. This is true strength. Many think compassion is weakness. They believe that if you do not fight back, you are powerless. But they do not see the truth. To respond with anger is easy. Anyone can do it. But to remain calm, to see with clear eyes, and to respond with kindness, that requires great courage. This is the power of compassion. Now, you may ask, but what if someone truly wrongs me? Should I not defend myself? Yes, but listen well. Compassion does not mean you allow others to harm you. It means you respond without hatred. You protect yourself with wisdom, not with anger. You speak with firmness, but your heart remains at peace. This is the difference. Wisdom is the key that unlocks this strength. With wisdom, you see that anger only harms you. It burns within your chest, tightens your breath, clouds your mind. And yet, does it change the other person? No. Their words remain spoken. Their actions remain done. But your peace, your precious peace, is lost. Why trade your peace for their anger? Why give them such power over you? Now, think of a clear pond. When a stone is thrown, ripples spread across the water. But soon, the water becomes still again. Your mind must be like this pond, calm, steady, undisturbed. Compassion is the softness that allows the ripples to pass without resistance. Wisdom is the stillness that restores your peace. Together, they free you from anger's grip. But how can I cultivate this? You may wonder. The answer is simple. Begin with understanding. When someone is unkind, ask yourself, why are they this way? Perhaps they carry burdens unseen. Perhaps their heart is heavy with sorrow or fear. When you see their pain, your anger softens. Their words no longer feel like attacks. They become echoes of their suffering. And when you understand this, compassion naturally arises. Yet, compassion must be balanced with wisdom. Wisdom reminds you that you cannot control others. You cannot make them kind. You cannot erase their pain. But you can choose your response. You can choose to meet their anger with calm, their harshness with understanding. This choice is your power. It is the power that frees you from being controlled by others. Think of a fire. If you throw it onto it, the flames grow stronger. But if you stop feeding the fire, it fades away. Anger works the same way. When you respond to anger with more anger, the fire grows. But when you respond with compassion and wisdom, the fire has no fuel. It cannot burn within you. Slowly, it dies out. Some may fear that without anger, they will be defenseless, that others will take advantage of their kindness. But this is not so. Compassion is not weakness. It is a strength that others can feel. When your heart is calm and your mind is clear, your presence alone commands respect. People sense this strength. They feel the steadiness within you. And in the face of such calm, their anger often melts away. Now, consider this. How many times have you regretted words spoken in anger? How many times has anger led you to act in ways that hurt yourself or others? Yet, how often have you regretted responding with kindness? How often have you wished you had been more patient, more understanding? This is the wisdom that arises from reflection. It shows you the path to freedom, freedom from the burden of anger, from the weight of regret. But remember, this path is not walked in a single step. It is a practice. Each day, you will face moments that test your patience, harsh words, rude actions, unexpected challenges. Each moment is a chance to practice. And with each choice, you grow stronger. Each time you choose compassion over anger, your heart becomes lighter. Each time you respond with wisdom, your mind becomes clearer. Slowly, day by day, you build a life where anger no longer controls you. And what is the result? Peace. A peace that no one can take from you. When others are angry, you remain calm. When others are harsh, you remain kind. Their words and actions no longer disturb your mind. You see their anger, but you do not absorb it. You hear their harshness, but you do not let it take root in your heart. This is freedom, the freedom that comes from compassion and wisdom. So, as you move forward, remember this. Anger is a choice. You can choose to hold on to it, or you can choose to let it go. When you choose compassion, you free yourself from anger's grip. When you choose wisdom, you take back the power others once had over your peace. And with each choice, you walk further down the path that leads to a life where no one can disturb your calm, no matter what they say or do. In the next part, we will explore how this freedom becomes unshakable, how you can reach a state where nothing and no one can ever bother you again. But remember, the path begins now. With each breath, with each choice, you are already walking toward peace. Oh, so you wish to hear more? Even though we have reached the end, wisdom is a path that has no final step. Sit with me now. Let us share one last moment together. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning and the world feels lighter. The worries that once clung to you seem distant. Someone speaks harshly, but their words touch only the air, not your heart. Stress tries to creep in, but your mind remains still, like water untouched by wind. This life is possible, and it begins with a choice to no longer be a prisoner of other people's actions, But remember this, peace is not found by avoiding the world. True peace is found by living within it, fully, openly, without letting its noise disturb the silence within you. People will still misunderstand you. Some will judge you. Others may try to provoke you. But their words and actions are like waves crashing against a mountain. The mountain does not move. It simply stands, steady and unmoved. Now you might wonder, how do I become that mountain? The answer is simpler than you think. It begins with understanding this truth. No one can make you angry without your permission. When someone insults you, it is like handing you a gift of anger. But if you refuse to accept it, the anger remains with them. You stay free. This is the heart of emotional freedom, to let others carry their own burdens without taking them into your heart. Yet, do not confuse this with indifference. A life without anger is not a life without feeling. It is a life where emotions arise, but they do not control you. When someone is unkind, you may feel a moment of hurt, but it passes like a cloud drifting through the sky. When life disappoints you, sadness may visit, but it does not stay. Like a river flowing through your hands, emotions come and go, leaving you untouched. And what about the most difficult moments? The ones that test your patience and shake your heart. When a loved one betrays your trust. When someone you care for speaks in anger. In these moments, remember, their pain is not yours. Their actions are not a reflection of your worth. You do not need to defend yourself or prove your value. Simply breathe, and let their words pass through you like wind through an open door. But there is one more step, one that few take. To live a life where no one can bother you, you must also release your judgments of others. For every time you judge someone, you create tension within yourself. You expect them to act a certain way, and when they do not, you feel anger or disappointment. Let go of these expectations. Allow others to be as they are, flawed, imperfect, human. When you stop trying to control others, their actions lose the power to control you. Now, I must tell you a secret. True freedom is not found in changing your thoughts. It is found in seeing that you are not your thoughts. When anger arises, do not say, "I am angry." Instead, notice, "There is anger within me." This small shift changes everything. For if anger is something that appears within you, then it can also disappear, just like a wave that rises and falls within the ocean. And who are you? You are not the wave. You are the ocean itself, vast, deep, and unshaken. And what about the past? The words that still echo in your mind, the memories that still tighten your chest. Let them go, not because they did not matter, but because carrying them serves no purpose. Each moment you dwell on the past is a moment stolen from your peace. So forgive, not for their sake, but for your own. In forgiveness, you reclaim your freedom. Now listen closely. Life will continue to test you. There will be days when patience feels impossible. Moments when anger rises before you can stop it. Do not be discouraged. Every step toward peace is a step worth taking. And with practice, you will find that anger visits less often and leaves more quickly, until one day, you wake up and realize, no one can bother you anymore. Their words are like leaves falling on water, creating only ripples that fade within moments. So I ask you, what will you do with this freedom? Will you use it to build walls around your heart? Or will you use it to spread kindness, even to those who have hurt you? True strength lies not in resisting the world, but in meeting it with compassion. For when you respond to anger with love, you break the cycle of suffering, not just for yourself, but for those around you. And now, as our time together comes to an end, remember this. The power to live a life of unshakable peace is already within you. No one can take it from you. No one can disturb it, unless you allow them. So walk forward with confidence. Speak with kindness. And when the world tests your patience, smile, knowing that their actions have no power over you. This is your life. Live it with a heart that no one can disturb, and a mind that no one can control. This is true freedom.